Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to Alluvian Est-Endrati. Thanks for your continued support, Alluvian. That said, let's get started. Much as I had thought, Dame Adriana and her team had carved a path through the Warrens, slaughtering every mutant that dared to cross their path. I have no doubt that they could have easily cleansed those tunnels in their entirety, if not for the persistent interference of that towering Fanatic. Once again, he had set upon one of our expeditions, shrieking about unclean blood and trying to hurl our recruits into a blazing pyre. I had tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it was clear now that he was dogging our every step. I had once hoped that we might somehow talk some sense into him, perhaps even use him against the Baron and his Crimson Court, but now it was clear that he was just another monster that we would have to slay. Still, Dame Adriana and the others had returned safely, despite that Fanatic's best efforts. They had also managed to punch a hole in the pigmen's defenses, and we had to act quickly to exploit that opening. With Adriana still recovering from her burns, I assembled a fresh team to delve deeper into the tunnels, in search of whatever it was that had riled this mutant army. Carl took charge of the party this time, and he was backed up by two of our finest hunters, Anuk and Dahl. Croft would join them as well, despite still being weary from the last patrol. In truth, I suspect that, given his vindictive streak, he was hoping for a chance at revenge against that damnable Fanatic. I certainly couldn't blame him for that. That monster of a man had been terrorizing our recruits for far too long, and it was only a matter of time before someone else ended up like poor Henrik. Still, given his mindless zeal and unnatural strength, I hoped it would be a long time before we encountered the Fanatic again.
You are not alone in this place. The Fanatic is on the prowl, and he smells your sickness.
And welcome back to episode 33. I'll be honest here, I'm getting pretty tired of the Fanatic. It's hard to imagine that there was a point where I was annoyed by normal vampires, because the Fanatic is 100 times worse. Anyway, let's take a look at our poor doomed heroes. Carl. Alistair Croft. Anuk. Dahl. Alright, well, much like last time, we'll try to avoid the Fanatic if possible and focus on finishing our quest. But we should make sure that our guys are ready to fight the Fanatic, just in case we do end up running into him. Anuk actually looks okay. He can attack from almost any rank, and those heals could end up being pretty important. Dahl is probably going to be the biggest problem. The Musketeer class is designed to work best from the back ranks, and that's not really possible when you're fighting the Fanatic. Well, she can still use sidearm from any position, so that'll have to be enough. Carl and Croft are probably fine as they are, so let's get moving. Besides, if we're lucky, we'll be able to avoid the Fanatic entirely.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
Okay, clear so far. Ah, and we've got 2 combat encounters in that hallway to our left. I've been warned that that's a sure sign the Fanatic has set up his ambush in a hallway, so we'll just avoid that for now. We'll let our light run down a little bit. I'd like some extra loot, but I don't want to make this into a dark run. Still clear. Oh, and we've got our 2 targets identified. We just need to clear those 2 rooms and quest complete. We'll focus on clearing the right side first, since things look a lot safer over there. Then we'll tackle the left side here, where one of these encounters has to be the Fanatic. Even if we end up having to abandon this quest, I'd like to make sure we at least walk away with a decent amount of treasure. Nice. We're already finding some pretty sizable stacks of gold, and we can always use more food. Let's see. Can we clear some stress? No, it looks like we'd better leave this to Anuk. I'm trying to keep our torchlight below 50, but above 0.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Alright, here's fight number 1. Let's see how this goes. Okay. That's not too bad. We should be able to handle this. Let's start with some crowd control. Nice. That's a good start. Oof. Right. This is a veteran dungeon. These guys hit a lot harder. Well, Anuk's already hurting, but Croft should be able to take care of that. We'll stay focused on offense for now. Let's see if we can knock out that drummer.
Precision and power.
So close. And of course, he was pushed too far back for Carl to reach. Well, we'll just keep hitting them. Alright, doll, let's clear that slasher. Oh, come on. Okay, this is already getting a little frustrating. These guys really seem to have it in for Anuk. Okay, well, that was better than nothing. You have got to be...
A hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
Okay, we're fine. Everything's fine. First things first, let's get Anuk off death's door. Now we need to start taking these guys out.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
I like the enthusiasm, Croft, but stay focused. That's a little better than last time. But it's not going to matter if they keep exclusively targeting Anuk. What is going on here? I mean, seriously, do pigmen just hate dogs or something? This is ridiculous. I'm tempted to have Anuk heal, but we have to take these guys out.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Okay, halfway there. Thank goodness. That buys us some time for healing.
A momentary abatement.
There we go. That's more like it. Though we could have lived without the bleeding.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Alright, let's risk a little more healing. We're really pushing our luck here. Okay, let's just finish this.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Jeez, that was an ordeal. It's not even that it was a hard fight. It wasn't. It's just that they kept going after the same guy over and over again. Hard to imagine that was just the first fight of the dungeon. We're not going to bother using that curio, it's too risky. We'll just double back and see if we can complete our quest. Oh. Okay, spiders and we've got surprise. This shouldn't be a difficult fight, but that all depends on the RNG. Oh, right, I forgot to fix our formation. That's fine. Okay, I see where this is going.
And now the true test. Hold fast, or expire. Grievous injury. Palpable fear.
Well, they're finally attacking someone other than Anuk, but that's probably just because he saved Anuk's life.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Damn. Okay, I want to heal, but I can't risk that thing hitting us again. Of course. Oh, okay. Okay, that buys us a little more time. We could try stunning this thing, but it probably wouldn't survive. Let's stay focused on healing for now. Nice. Okay, we've pushed our luck far enough. Let's finish this.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Man, this dungeon is, something else. Oh, hold up. We almost missed a haul. Whoop.
Watch your step.
I didn't even notice that. Sorry guys, I'm getting pretty stressed out here. Let's just keep moving and see if we can get this quest completed.
The darkness holds much worse than mere trickery and boogeymen.
Come on, Anuk. Those are corpses. Alright, well, that could have been worse. Okay, just 2 more fights. 2 more fights and we're done here. Now, if what I was told is correct, then this shouldn't be the Fanatic. But just in case, let's top off our health. You know what? I like getting extra loot, but let's boost our torchlight too, just in case. Okay, let's do this. Whew, okay. Alright, I think we're fine. Let's take care of these guys real quick, then we'll clear the treasure room, and then I think we're done here. In fact, let's hedge our bets with a dog treat, just to be on the safe side. Okay, this is going pretty well. Let's go for the big guy next.
A devastating blow.
Let's get rid of that corpse.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
It's fine. We're fine. Anuk had it way worse.
Impressive.
Let's try for a stun. Okay, go for the kill.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Not a bad haul. I guess we can burn the rest of our torches.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Ooh, glad I maxed out our torchlight. I was not expecting vampires. Let's see if we can get through this without anyone else getting infected.
A powerful blow.
Good hit. We don't really need any healing, so let's see if we can take out that supplicant. Ooh, very close. This should do the trick. Okay. You have got to be kidding me. Okay, well, that was pretty bad, but it definitely could have been worse. That's one down. Let's go for number 2. Nice. Things are starting to move in the right direction here. That Chevalier is a problem. We'll need to focus fire on him. Let's see if we can get rid of that corpse. Not quite enough.
Mortality clarified in a single strike. Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
You know, I didn't think we'd run into this much blight in the Warrens. I guess I really just need to start bringing anti-venoms on every run. There we go. The Chevalier's pretty much done. And there goes the Sycophant.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Okay, that was a tough fight, but we made it through. And our inventory is practically loaded with treasure at this point. In fact, since we're pretty much done here, let's make a little more room. Yeah, I think we can fit all of this in here. We definitely don't need the shovel anymore.
Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place. Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Okay, let's dump the last of our supplies and we're done. That is a beautiful sight. As much as I'd love to stick around and make another run on the Fanatic, I think we'd better quit while we're ahead.
Some experiments should have never happened. You are doing just work ending them.
Alright, 15,000 gold. Could have been better, but as always, it could have been a whole lot worse. Just one quirk this time. Oof. And of course, it's the worst one possible for a primary healer. Well, Croft is going straight to the sanitarium, but all things considered, this was actually a pretty good run. Sure, it got a little frustrating at times, but no one died, no one got infected, and we walked away with a lot of treasure. Anyway, let's head back to town, and I think it's time to start prepping for another run on the courtyard. It was a few days before Carl's party returned, and in their absence, things were steadily growing worse around the hamlet. With the farmstead in ruins and the Crimson Curse running rampant, the infected now outnumbered the pure. It was an exercise in futility to keep them contained at this point. The sanitarium had already been short on space in even the best of days, and now it was filled to overflowing with unwilling patients. I had no choice but to once again give them free run of the Hamlet, and with vampires openly prowling the streets, tensions quickly rose to the breaking point. I'm not sure who it was that finally gave in to greed born of desperation, but I awoke one morning to the news that someone had broken into the tavern in dead of night. The vault in the gambling hall had been plundered, and the poor bartender, already dour and wary from weeks of serving the infected, had hired brutish mercenaries to help resecure his establishment. The infected were still welcome, of course, as long as they had good coin to spend. Still, the mood in the tavern was far more oppressive these days, with the gambling tables closed off and grim-faced guards ready to pierce a customer's heart at a moment's notice. Carl and the others returned soon afterwards, victorious but weary. Their reports spoke of how they had cleared out dozens of mutants and feral vampires, but once again, the Fanatic had dogged their every step. He had stopped short of openly confronting them, at least this time, but he had made it clear that he was a threat that simply couldn't be ignored. He was far too powerful to face head-on, but perhaps there were other ways we could deal with this Fanatic. If we could finally put an end to the Crimson Court, then perhaps this madman would finally feel compelled to move on and leave us be. It was no simple task, of course. If the court could be purged so easily, then surely the Fanatic would have already done it himself, but we at least had to try. I called upon Alistair to lead the assault, pairing him with Rowan and Roderick Reeves, both of whom were growing more feral by the day. They were still staunch and loyal companions, but the infection was insidious, and the changes it inflicted on the infected were undeniable. I asked Carol to accompany them as well, in hopes that her faith in humanity might somehow keep them from giving in to their baser instincts, but given her own infected state, even the Vestal sister had begun to waver these days. I equipped the party as best I could, paying the Guildhouse a princely sum to improve their equipment as best as possible. While Alistair's party availed themselves of the new training facilities, I heaped their wagon high with provisions, supplies, and a crate of carefully packed vials of blood. It wasn't much, but it would have to be enough. If we couldn't find some way to finally put an end to the Baron and his verminous followers, then I was beginning to fear that this might be the beginning of the end.